Welcome to another episode of the Lighting Mind Show. I'm your host, Sunil, and today I have a very interesting topic. It came up in our private WhatsApp group that we have for my class alumni. It's called Gita in Action. It's my Gita classes and the Upanishad classes. And the question was today is July 2nd, 2023. About 4 days ago, it was the Ekadashi, a special Ekadashi called Shayani Ekadashi. And we have heard from our parents, grandparents that Shayani Ekadashi is when Vishnu goes to sleep, and then later on after Deepavali, Utthana Ekadashi, Uttam Dwadashi, Vishnu wakes up. But the question was, a general thing is, are there any logic or reasoning behind festivals, the Hindu festivals throughout the year? And as I was thinking about how to present that, I made an outline on a sheet of paper and I scanned it, and I'm going to share that. But to quickly understand how to answer this, how to understand this, think of the Hindu festival as mainly two kinds. One is the Aitihasika festivals, and the other is the Pauranika festivals. And I'm going to explain that. So, Aitihasika festivals are examples being, Ram Navami, Krishna Janmashtami, and Parashurama Jayanti, and all of those other Jayantis. These have no connections. These are basically based on what the Mahabharata or the Ramayana or other texts talk about when these individuals, these deities, these avatars were born. And so there's no logic or reasoning to when we do their worship them in the festivals or celebrate the festivals. So those are one kind. The Pauranika festivals are the festivals like Navaratri, like the Ganesha chaturthi, like Deepavali, like Dakshinayana, Uttarayana, all of those things. Those are loosely based on the astronomical things, which are also connected to Puranic stories. There is a framework to these festivals, and these festivals are connected to each other. So when we understand these festivals not as just random individual festivals, but there's an underlying framework behind it, and that's the reason why they are celebrated one after the other at different parts, some at the beginning of the year, some at the end of the year, some in the middle of the year. So if you know why those are based on astronomical, based on other considerations, we will have a much deeper understanding and a deeper appreciation for these festivals. So let me share the sketch. So it's a very handwritten sketch. So let's see how we can make sense of different festivals. Give me a second and let me share the document. So this is my handwritten document. What this is saying is, first to the basics, the foundation basics. If there's a dictum in Vedanta, which is, Brahman, yatha Brahmande, tata Pindande, tata Brahmande, which means the microcosm and the macrocosm are reflections of each other. So microcosm and macrocosms are reflections of each other. So in that sense, a year is a reflection of a day. A day is a reflection of a year. So if you look at it in that sense, what I've shown here is on one column here, I have day, a 24-hour day. On the other column, I have a year. So if you compare a year to a day, when does a daybreak start? So if you look at here, 4:30 is the Brahma Muhurta, which is the pre-dawn. The equivalent of that in a year is the Kartika Amavasya or the Lakshmi Puja. So the Lakshmi Puja is the daybreak of the year. That's when Lakshmi wakes up. In the Pauranika, that's when Lakshmi emerges out of the Kshira Samudra. That is also considered as a new year, financial new year, fiscal new year, but it is also, in a Puranic way, in a Puranic sense, the new year, the pre-dawn, the Brahma Muhurta of the year. So that is where the year begins. So Deepavali, in that sense, is the celebration of the coming new year. Not at the break of dawn, but at the pre-dawn. That is a Brahma Muhurta. So that is where the day starts. Brahma Muhurta of a day is equivalent to the Amavasya Lakshmi Puja of the year. So about November is when Deepavali is. So that is when the new year actually starts, pre-dawn. And then after, if you see, there is the next festival is Utthana or Devotthana Ekadashi. As the word itself says, Utthana means waking up. That means when after Lakshmi wakes up, the Devatas wake up, and then Deva Utthana Ekadashi is all the Paramatma, Vishnu wakes up. Here Vishnu is one thing, it needs to be, it's a way of saying there is no sleep for Vishnu. All the Devatas are themselves animeshas, which means they don't sleep. No Devata sleeps, much less Vishnu, who is awake even in the Pralaya. It's speaking about Surya Deva and Surya's influence on us. So it's the daybreak for the human beings, the daybreak for our world, of how the nature, it's kind of nature waking up, the pre-dawn of nature. So the positive forces, the Devatas, wake up in November, and then Vishnu wakes up. That means the solar energy, the sun, wakes up, because Devanam or Adityanam Aham Vishnu. So Vishnu is an Aditya. So the solar energy wakes up, and then, which is what we, in a day, that is equivalent to, analogous to the Prata Sandhya Kala. So between 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. So if 9 a.m. when we leave for work, 4 to 9 is that pre-dawn. So the Dhanurmasa is like in the morning when you do prayers, that is the prayer time. In a year, the Prata Sandhya is the Dhanurmasa, the December, when the sun goes to the ninth house of Dhanur Rashi, that is Dhanurmasa. And in the lunar calendar, that is what is called as the Margashira Masa. So then the final aspect of that is what is called as Vaikunta Ekadashi. Vaikunta Ekadashi is Vaikunta, Vaikunta Dwara, the door of Vaikunta is open. That means in a general sense, the world is open for business. The solar forces, the divine forces are awake. The Vaikunta doors are thrown open. That means the solar energy is now fully functional and awake. So, and then it also corresponds to Uttarayana, or the winter solstice. So there's a very important thing. I usually, people say the New Year celebration of January 1st in the Gregorian calendar makes no sense. And I was one of them that, used to hold that position. But then as I was thinking about it, January corresponds to winter solstice, which is also, right now, winter solstice is December 21st. And we do celebrate on Uttarayana, which is the Makara Sankranti, January 14th. So that drift has happened from 14th to the 21st. But regardless, it is very close to January. So the January 31st New Year celebration is the first of the month that occurs after the winter solstice. So there is a logic. So that is a Puranic year, even for us. The winter solstice is the start of the Puranic year. That's kind of like our 9 a.m. start, right? That's our Uttarayana solstice, Uttarayana start. That is our Makara Sankranti start. That's the start of the Puranic year. So if Lakshmi Puja represents Brahma Muhurta, Dhanurmasa represents the Sandhya Kala, the Prarthana during the Sandhya Kala, Vaikuntha Ekadashi, the doors of the world are thrown open for the divine forces are now strong. The Uttarayana star is the signaling the beginning of the year. So there is a logic to celebrating January 1st, even though astronomically January 1st itself does not have a significance. But celebrating January as the beginning of the year, say instead of April, is not really is not unreasonable. It is actually connected to the solstice, which is also how our Puranic year is structured. So that the sunrise, is kind of like Uttarayana, Punyakala. Then, you can see progressively you have the divine forces coming up. Magha Saptami, it's also called Ratha Saptami. That is the lunar version of this Uttarayana Punyakala that has happened. So that Saptami. And then a couple of months later, you have the Yugadi. That is the sun coming to the Mesha Rashi. And then, of course, you have the Sauramana, that is the solar new year, and the lunar new year. Both have been there, celebrated from Mahabharata times. Even Duryodhana, talks, and Bhishma talk about the two Yugadis. So that is a couple of months later than when the Uttarayana starts, when the Pauranika year starts, the year of the Purana starts, and then the Vasanta Kala starts. So that is the kind of a tropical new year. So, and then as you move forward, the Dakshinayana happens in June, right? So we move from April when there's Yugadi, May and June 21st is the true Dakshinayana. July 14th is a version of sun entering the Karkamasa, and which is a couple of about 2 weeks from now, when there is a Dakshinayana Punyakala. So that is actually the sunset of the year. So that means half a year from when Lakshmi woke up is over now, and then the Dakshinayana Punyakala represents the sunset of the year. Now, from sunset of the year to Diwali is the night of the year. So the sunset, there's an evening, and you will see that the festivals increase. So the evening and the night festivals are protection festivals, and you see a lot of festivals. Of course, Krishna Janmashtami also comes, but it is not connected to the Pauranika part of it. It's not connected to this structure, but Aitihasika. But if you look at the Pauranika, first comes the Dakshinayana comes, and then Devashayani Ekadashi. That means which is the mark when Devashayani means Vishnu starts to sleep, or the sun has set, right? It is a figurative way of saying that the sun's power and the divine power is going down in this world, and the demonic power or the night, because it's Ratri Bala is Asuras have Ratri Bala. So that means their strength increases at night, and even which is true for the day and night as well as a year's day and night. Then the first thing is the protector of the night first is Ganesha. So in the Bhadrapada Masa, Ganesha Chaturthi, Ganesha is the first protector of the night. So our worship of Ganesha during the Bhadrapada Masa is for seeking protection on the Chaturthi. So then after that, what happens just after the Ganesha Chaturthi is the Pitru Paksha. And if you look at around the world, this is the time when all of these ancient cultures believe that the Asuragana, the Rakshasas, the Pitrus, all of them come down to the earth to visit the earth. The Bali Chakravarti comes to visit the earth. Onam is also related to this, even though it's not celebrated in this one. There is Onam is when I think probably Onam is also celebrated around this time, which is a welcome ceremony for Bali Chakravarti. All of them coming from the netherworld. So all of these festivals, all of these are celebrating the coming of the Pitrus, and of course Asura Ganas are also there. So that means you need protection. So when you are doing for Pitru Paksha, what you're doing? You're doing the Mahalaya Paksha. All of the Pitru Aradhana is done in this part of the night, and then finally the one that protects us at night is Durga Devi, and so we seek protection at the darkest period of the night, which is the darkest period of the year, is October-November time frame. So Navaratri, Ashwayuja Masa, that is when we seek the blessings of the Navadurga. So Durga is there as a protector deity of the night of the year. The darkest night period is when Ganesha Chaturthi, Pitru Paksha happens, and then after that, Ashwayuja Masa, the Navaratri festival, the Sharan Navaratri festival happens, where Durga is the deity protecting us at the darkest period of the night of the year. Right? So now Navaratri Puja, once Navaratri Puja is done, you can see that that's the darkest period of the night. And then the festival that comes after Navaratri is actually the break of the dawn. That is the Brahma Muhurta, 4:30 a.m. of the day, which is equivalent to the so the Deepavali is what, when the Pitrus are here in the Pitru Paksha, they still continue to be here in the Navaratri period, but then the Pitrus are shown the way during the Kartika Masa. So all of these lighting the lamps, it's called Akasha Deepa, Yama Deepa, and all of that. So all of these lighting of the lamp during the Deepavali is show the way. If you look at the old texts, it says Diwali or Deepavali is the way, is when the Pitrus that have come down during the Pitru Pakshas, they go back. The Asuras go back. All of the Rakshasa Ganas, they go back to where they came from. The netherworld, the Pitrus to the Pitruloka. So all of these, and they are shown the light. And the name given for the light that is lit during the Deepavali is called Akasha Deepa, Yama Deepa. And that's the light to show the Pitrus, the light to go back to where they came from. So this is an outline of the logic or the lattice framework of how these festivals are, Puranic festivals are. Lakshmi Puja is the start of the new year, and then Navaratri is the end of the new year. After Navaratri ends, and then Deepavali is when we light those lamps, we are showing the Pitrus the way back. The Rakshasas go back to the netherworld, and then the new dawn breaks. So this is how the festivals are connected with each other, and the reason why these are at the period of time within a year, within that Samvatsara, when it occurs. Navaratri at the dark part of the time of the year after Dakshinayana, and then Pitru Paksha is in the Dakshinayana, because these are all the night of the year. Right? So and if you look at that, they also follow January to December cycle. Right? December 21st is the Uttarayana Punyaka. The true Uttarayana today is solstice. The winter solstice happens on December 21st. And the first of the month, the new month that occurs after that, is January 1st. So in that sense, January is a new year. And therefore, it's also not January 1st, but Puranic New Year is December 21st or January 14th, which is Uttarayana, or the Makara Sankranti. And then the sunset of the year happens in the mid of the year, the Dakshinayana or the Karka Sankramana. June 21st is the true one. or July 14th is the sun moving to Karka and then the festivals that follow the sun moving in different Rashis of the night. So from the Shayani Ekadashi for the next 4 months, and this year, because it's one more month added to sync the calendars, it's 5 months of Chaturmasya, in this year. So that is actually the period when the worship of the deities increases because of seeking of protection from the night, from the forces that get stronger, the evil forces, the demonic forces that get stronger during this part of the year. So Ganesha Chaturthi, Pitrupaksha, and then Navaratri, all of these are protection festivals for the darkest period. The Navaratri is the darkest period of the year, when Durga Devi, or she is also in the Rig Veda called Ratri Devi, right? Ratri Suktam. So that the Devi, the forms of Devi protect us in the darkest period of the year. And then Lakshmi Puja is when the Puranic New Year starts, which is at the daybreak or the pre-dawn, Brahma Muhurta. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, write that in the comment or share with me. And in the next episodes, I'm going to look at different aspects, like different puja. Why do we puja? What are the steps of doing puja? And all these common things that once you understand the framework, you will appreciate and enjoy doing those. And that's the reason why I want to do those podcasts. I've done this. I've explained those in my classes. So please look into my channel and look into the Gita classes and the Upanishad classes that's going on now, Kathopanishad. And until next time, have a great day and the rest of the week. Bye.